your static series. We're going to use 30 seconds to hold a static movement. You're going to find your breath and you're going to find strength and stillness. Let's begin. Come down to the floor, and we're going to first find a plank. So I want you to take your hands underneath your shoulders. I'm going to show you a couple variations. First, you can come just to the tops of your thighs. I want you to tuck your tailbone under, draw your belly in. If you feel strong here, you can tuck your toes under and lift your hamstrings up to the sky. If you feel as if you have pressure in your low back, your shoulders or your wrists hurt, a great and smart variation is to come down to the tops of the thighs. Whichever variation you've taken, I want you to take your tailbone and tuck it under and drive your belly up. We have 5 seconds left here already. 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to come down to the tops of your thighs and we're going to take a side plank. So first you're going to come down to your forearm, make a fist with your palm, take it to the opposite elbow, and then turn onto your side. Your first variation is here with your knee down, top leg nice and long, or you can lengthen both legs, stacking one in front of the other. Try and lift up through the waist as high as you can, almost as if you're creating an arch. Take your top hand onto the top of your hip. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lift up a little higher, really push down, not only into your elbow, but your fist as well. You have 2 seconds. Last one, we're going to turn the opposite way. Just take that one forearm underneath and then flip it over to the other side. You can see I have a nice strong back here. I'm going to drive my shoulder back. Your variation is that bottom leg down again. I'm going to lift up through my waist and then flip it over to the other side. You can see I have a nice strong back here. I'm going to drive my shoulder back. Your variation is that bottom leg down again. I'm going to lift up through my waist. Take a nice big inhale. Lift up a little higher, exhale. And then you're going to come down. Drop down to the tops of your thighs and you're going to flip over for bridge pose. So I want you to roll down carefully. Laying on your back, arms are long by your side. Walk your feet in towards your fingertips and take your legs hip distance. That's right in front of your hip bones. Now curl through your tailbone and lift your hips up as high as you can, but then draw your tailbone underneath you. So instead of seeing the belly poof, I want to see it really draw in and up to lengthen through the back instead of compressing down and into it. And just hold. Imagine that you have like a towel between the thighs. Squeeze through the inner thighs at the same time and press down into the arms. So we're really using full body here. You should feel a lot of pressure into your heels. Big inhale, drive your belly in. Exhale. Shoulders are down my back and my collarbone is open nice and wide. Inhale. Last second here, and then roll down. So we finished our first set. Take your hands behind your thighs, lift your head, neck, and shoulders, and come on up. We're going to flip over to our plank position again. So, hands underneath shoulders. You're going to come back to the tops of your thighs, curl the toes under, if that's your variation for today, and lift up through the hamstrings. Now squeeze the inner thighs together on this one as well, and then drive the shoulders back and down and open up the collarbone. Big inhale, watch my belly. I'm going to draw my belly up nice and deep. Inhale, I'm going to push the floor away on my next exhale. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, last one. Drop down to the tops of your thighs, come down to your forearms, make a fist, take it to the opposite elbow, take your variation in side plank. So take a nice big inhale. I'm going to push down, open up through my collarbone. Hands on my waist. Inhale. Exhale, lift. You can always start with this variation and then, if you start to feel too much pressure on your elbow, come down to the modification. Last 3, 2, flip it to the other side. Forearm down, switch, press through the shoulder, try and drive the shoulder down and through the back. Tailbone is tucked down to the heels and hand is on the hip. Collarbones are wide, the full body is working here. And then we find our breath, slow the breath, and find the strength and stillness. Inhale, exhale, push a little deeper. And then finally come on down, drop down to the tops of the thighs, flip yourself over for bridge. Roll down one vertebrae at a time, walk the heels towards the butt, arms down by the side. You can see I can almost touch, curl and roll up. Lift the hips and let's hold. Lift up a little higher. You should feel your hamstrings, your glutes, your low back, your abdominals, your triceps, your biceps working, even your upper back pressing down and into the ground. Big inhale. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs together. Almost done here. Lift up a little higher. You have 3, 2, 1. Roll down. We get to repeat everything again. Let's use the abdominals to lift up. So tuck your head, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Flip yourself over to plank. Here we go. Hands underneath your shoulders, top of the thighs, or you can curl the toes under and lift up through the legs. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Try shifting forward a little bit so that your nose is forward of your fingertips, and that will help you to drive your shoulders down your back. Push into the ground, and that finds space in between my shoulder blades instead of sinking down and into them. Now I'm going to lengthen my heels away from me and reach the crown of the head nice and long, driving the belly in. 3, 2, and 1. Drop down to the knees. Let's come down to the forearms. We'll take our forearm plank, take it across. Variation, lift up, and hand on the hip. This time, if you want to, you can reach that top hand all the way up to the sky. Really feel as if you're lifting off of the ground. You're doing great. These are great static movements because they're going to tone your body and they're going to build strength that will help you with the other workouts, like power, where you're jumping, because you'll find that core foundation. Also lean up really quick. Last 2, 1, come on down, flip sides. Pick the variation that is smart for your body today. Maybe one shoulder's not feeling as great as the other, so you pick a different modification. Hand is up to the sky. You lift up. You can look up if you'd like. Shoulders down your back. Push down into the bottom forearm. Lift up out of the shoulder. Find space within the joint. And then come down. Down to the tops of the thighs. And then flip around. Feet down. Let's curl down nice and slow using the abdominals. Last one, last exercise, and your workout is done. Draw your heels in, squeeze the inner thighs, and roll up to bridge pose. So lift up, press down into the arms. See if you can lift a little higher, but really pull the hip bones in and towards you. This is a nice lengthening exercise for the front of the body, so you're opening up and stretching the quadriceps and the hip flexors, which tend to be very tight because we're seated a lot in this day and age. Lift up a little higher. You should feel your glutes burning, your hamstrings burning, maybe muscles are shaking. Push yourself to that edge. And exhale and roll down. Hands behind your thighs, nice and light. Roll all the way up. Don't forget to add your stretch series after every workout. Welcome to your stretch session. Walk to the front of your mat, feet hip distance. Inhale, reach your hands up to the sky, lengthen from your heels all the way up to your fingertips, but draw the shoulder blades down, interlace your fingers, press the palms up to the sky. Look up, inhale, lengthen through the torso, and then exhale. We're gonna fold from the hips, take a soft bend in your knees all the way down. Step your right foot back and keep the leg nice and long. We're gonna stretch through the front quadricep up into the hip flexors here. So really lengthen through and lift up through the hamstring. Now let's add a twist to this. So reach your same hand as leg down. We're gonna twist up towards the front leg. Reach up off of the bottom hand. Pull in through your torso. Take a nice big twist. And then exhale, hand down. Let's move into our hamstring stretch. All you're gonna do is push back into the back leg, drop down, try and lengthen through the spine to feel a stretch from your toes all the way to the crown of your head. Let's try the other side. So step forward, step the opposite leg back. It's gonna stay nice and long. Lengthen, feel like you're pressing the hamstring up to the sky. Inhale, same hand as leg down, twist. Take another big inhale, lengthen through the back, shoulders are down the back. Exhale, release the hand. Our hamstring stretch is next. So press the hips back, drop and lengthen through the torso. On your next inhale, step forward. And then we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time, starting from the core, letting the head be heavy. Reach the hands back up to the sky. Inhale and exhale. Add your stretch session to the end of every workout for flexibility and balance.